Hi guys, it's Marty here from HIA. Just wanted to give you a quick update with some of the changes that are happening across the training packages and units of competency that you might be working on in your TAE. The IBSA, which is the Innovation and Business Skills Australia, has started the process of restructuring all of the training packages on training.gov.au. This was meant to be finished by last year. Didn't happen, but it is continuing. We've recently seen a complete release of the BSB, which is the business training package, which incorporates the Diploma of Business, Diploma of Management, Diploma of Human Resources and all the related certificate level qualifications. And it's been quite considerable and it's going to have a lot of effect on the training industry as a whole. So basically, the IBS is saying they should be finished by December 2015. We will see, who knows. But in the meantime, some of the training packages and units of competency that you're looking at on training.gov.au might look a bit different to what you're used to, what we've shown you in the learning guides in the TAE. So I just wanted to quickly run through what some of the changes were and how that's going to affect you guys as students. So basically, there's been changes to the units of competency. There'll be different headings and titles, so I'll go through exactly what's changed, but some of the headings in the units of competency as well as in the training packages will be different to what you're used to. There's going to be different documents. There's actually 2 documents for every unit of competency and 2 documents for every training package now. And I'll also go over how you need to work with these new units of competency. So hopefully, as you all know, a training package is a big thing that includes all of the qualifications, all the units of competency and the assessment guidelines. So for example, using the business training package, that's all of the qualifications in the BSB training package, all of the units of competency that make up those qualifications, and the assessment guidelines on how to assess those units of competency. So in the old packages, they were the 3 endorsed components, and that's what we had to work towards. In the new training packages, there are now 4 endorsed components, so it's still the qualifications and units of competency. We've changed the terminology, just for fun, from assessment guidelines to assessment requirements, and they've added in a 4th endorsed component, which is the credit arrangements. And essentially all that is where a unit from a previous training package has been superseded but is still equivalent, it will be mentioned here in credit arrangements. They've also included what is called a companion guide with information on how to apply this package, the training package. Now, this isn't an endorsed component, it can't be audited, it's not enforceable, but a lot of the companion guides have some really, really useful information on how to assess and apply all of the stuff from the training package, so they're definitely worth looking at when you're working on your programs and planning. So now when you open up a new unit of competency, it's going to look a little bit different. The most obvious change is the titles. Some of the headings have changed. So if you have a look at the image over to the right of your screen, you can see what's changed between the old and the new. One of the biggest things you'll notice is that there's no more range statement, and they've changed that to range of conditions. The actual content of range of conditions is quite different, whereas before there was a lot of information. It could actually mention what the equipment you're using was or where you had to do it. So an example was, say, if you were doing road grading, it might say that they had to do it on asphalt, on rock, on bitumen. Now it just says on a road, but there'll be further information on the actual assessment in the assessment requirements, which I'll cover in a second. Still got all of our elements and performance criteria. They haven't changed. The other big change is the required skills. So they're the old employability skills, now changed into foundation skills. And that combines your literacy, numeracy and employability skills all into one, and it maps across from the Australian Core Skills Framework and the Core Skills for Work Framework. The other big change is that now every unit of competency has a second document. So you no longer just have one document you have to look at when you're developing a training program, you've got two. So the unit of competency is the what. What are we going to assess? The assessment requirements is the how, essentially, the what, why and how. So it's a separate document. It's still on training.gov.au, where the attachments are in either PDF or Word. You'll find underneath the unit of competency there is also the assessment requirement document. A couple of minor changes. The critical aspects. So before we used to say you had to cover all of the critical aspects of evidence, of assessment, is now called performance evidence. The performance evidence is basically what a learner has to do to be judged competent in that unit. Knowledge evidence, we used to have the required knowledge, and that was basically, do they know this stuff? Now they've expanded this a little bit further into what a learner has to be able to know to perform the work. So not just knowing it well enough to be able to do the required task. And then there's assessment conditions. So this could be the who, as in who the assessor is, what qualifications they have to have, what experience they must have. It could be the where, so that could be a workplace, a classroom, a simulation, and a what of the assessment. So for example, the unit that we use in handling mail, it might have that they have to use case studies, they have to use real mail documentation, they have to use particular equipment. So what does that mean for you guys as students? Well, basically, all of the learning resources you guys have currently got is based on the old standards. We didn't see this coming. Well, we did see this coming. We weren't expecting it to come without any warning. So we're in the process of updating all of our learning resources, but at this stage, chances are for the duration of your course, you're going to be working on resources that have got the old standards. When you're choosing units, so if you're working on a work-based project and you have to select a unit, then we're going to give you the choice. In the real world in an RTO, we have what's called a teach-out period, which is 12 months from the date that a new unit or a new training package is released. So we're going to make it real life for you guys. If you find a unit of competency that's under the new standards and you think, I'm not real sure yet how to work with these, and you would like to use the older version, the superseded version, as long as it's been superseded in the previous 12 months, then that's fine. You can choose to use units from the new standards, that's not a problem. If you would like to, I'm going to send out an attachment along with this PowerPoint that gives you more examples of exactly what each section of the new units of competency are, and of course any of the trainers here are happy to have a chat with you and talk you through any questions you might have. You can also have a look, there's some YouTube videos, and the link's obviously just there. You're looking for the woman who's wearing a grey jacket with a red shirt. She's possibly not the most interesting of presenters, but she does explain all of the changes quite well in pretty straightforward language, not using too much jargon. So it's worth having a look at those videos. Also, the IBSA website has got loads of information as well as FAQs. It gives guides and information and FAQs and examples, so there's a lot of information there. And of course, as always, you can talk to any of the trainers here at HIA and we'll be happy to help. So if you've got any questions, let us know. Otherwise, have fun with your studies.